Nikki, new year, and investors seem to be having a sort of fresh outlook on European car shares. So Peugeot's rallied quite a lot in the last few weeks. Isn't this a bit sort of overblown given everything coming out about the market?
I think it's a bit premature, yes. I mean, Peugeot jumped quite substantially between, I don't know, early December and early January. Almost 50%, but it is off an incredibly low base. The shares have fallen very, very sharply. I mean, it was one of the worst performers of the sort of 500 top European stocks last year. So it's very much a sort of, we can call it a dead cat bounce, I suppose. And yes, I think some investors were bottom fishing, but the sales figures that Peugeot put out today, I think, give a sort of air of reality to the whole situation. I mean, their European sales are down by almost 15% and overall by about 9%, almost 9%. And nobody expects 2013 to be pretty for the European car market, and it is very heavily exposed to that, although it's doing better outside Europe.
Right, okay. So what does Peugeot plan, to do? How can it get out of this situation, and is the bottom anywhere near in sight?
Well, in fairness to it, I mean, in comparison to some of its peers, it has been pretty proactive and forced to be pretty proactive. It's obviously got this alliance with General Motors. It did a rights issue on the back of that last year, which has helped shore up the balance sheet to some extent. It's been very actively disposing of assets, about 1.5 billion last year, and it's been rationalising and cutting costs. And there was, for all the hoopla that is made about the sort of French resistance to job cuts, Peugeot, like some other companies, has actually been able to push quite a lot through. It's closing or scaling back at Aulnay and at Rennes. So there is progress on the cost front. I mean, its problem really is that it's still got to manage this hideous sales environment in Europe, where Volkswagen's trying to grab share at one level, and the Korean car makers are pushing in really at the economy end. So it has to manage that with a not very good balance sheet.
Right, okay. So overall it looks like investors were getting a bit ahead of themselves, and the bottom probably isn't in sight yet for these European car makers. Thanks, Nikki.